Fixing your credit score doesn't have to take months or years. In fact, you can fix your credit in as little as 2 days. I want to show you how to do it and how you can boost your credit score by over 100 points. On day one, the first thing you need to do is face your debt, because if you don't, nothing else you do will matter. I know this can be overwhelming, but start by gathering every piece of financial paperwork you can find. Credit card statements, personal loans, medical bills, anything you owe. Create one master list that includes the total balance for each debt, the interest rate, the minimum payment, and the due date. This sets us up for the second thing you can do. Find quick wins where you can save money and cut expenses. Start by tallying up your monthly expenses and debt, then subtract it from the amount of money you take home each month. This gives you what's called your cash flow. For example, if you bring home $5,000 a month and your rent, groceries, debt, and other expenses total $4,000, your cash flow is $1,000. The bigger your cash flow, the easier it becomes to pay down your debt even faster. When reviewing your bank statements, look back over the last 3 months and identify unnecessary purchases you can cut. These quick wins often hide in unused memberships, impulse Amazon buys, or those DoorDash orders when we're just too lazy to cook. Yep, it's okay. I'm right there with you. Try dividing your spending into wants and needs. Take everything from the wants category and redirect that money towards paying down debt. There's a popular guideline called the 50-30-20 rule. 50% of spending goes into need, 30% to want, and 20% to debt or saving. But if you're drowning in debt, struggling to make payments, or maxing out credit cards, you'll need to break that rule. Cut back your wants as much as possible, at least for now. This means 30% should be as close to zero as possible. This could be uncomfortable for a bit, but trust me, you'll thank yourself later when you can breathe again. Now, before we jump into a credit score quick fix, there's one last step for today: picking your debt repayment strategy. There are two main strategies people use, known as the snowball method and the avalanche method. The TLDR is both methods have you aggressively pay off one loan at a time. The only difference is which one you start with. The snowball method tells you to start with the smallest balance first because it's easier to knock out and gives you a quick win that boosts your motivation when you have one less payment to worry about. The avalanche method focuses on the highest interest rate first and usually saves you the most money in the long run. This is because you're paying off debt that would accumulate the fastest. But there's also a third strategy, especially if you're dealing with credit card debt, and that's what we call the zero cash flow method. For those of you low on extra income right now, this might be your best bet. We actually have a full video on all of these debt payment methods, taking you through examples, so check that out next. It's linked in the description. Whichever method you choose, snowball or avalanche, just make sure you keep paying at least the minimums on all your other debts. You can also consider debt consolidation, which combines multiple debts into one loan. The goal is to shrink those 2, 3, 4 payments into one, and hopefully with a lower interest rate. Another option is a 0% balance transfer credit card, where you move your high interest credit card balance, which have an interest rate around 25%, onto this new card and pay no interest for a limited time. But be careful, balance transfer cards usually charge a fee, and that 0% interest rate is temporary. Consolidation only works if you change the habits that got you into debt. But before moving on to day 2, I just want to say that yes, we're making a plan, but financial emergencies happen, and sometimes you need cash fast. A way to get help without decreasing your credit score is by getting an emergency personal loan with CreditNinja. They've given over 400,000 loans and help people who don't have the best credit, offer loans up to $5,000, and can even deliver funds the same day. Learn more about CreditNinja in this video. By day 2, you've done your financial audit and picked a repayment strategy. Now it's time to take action that can directly improve your credit score, and fast. This step is all about reaching out to the people you owe money to, aka creditors or debt collectors, and negotiating. The 3 main goals here are to lower the total amount you owe, fix any incorrect information on your credit report, and get collections removed from your credit file entirely, which is known as a pay for delete. For those of us who have been sent to collections, here's how the process works. Let's say you owe $5,000 on a credit card, but you haven't made a payment in ages. A collection agency might go to your credit card company and offer $1,000 to buy the rights to that debt. The card company says yes because they'd rather get something than nothing. Now, the collection agency owes the debt and they'll come after you for the full $5,000. That's why they get so aggressive with calls and letters, because everything they collect beyond what they paid is profit. The little known truth is that you can negotiate your debt down so you don't have to pay it in full. Because those agencies bought your debt for pennies on the dollar, many are willing to settle for way less than what you owe. So what can you do? Call the collection agencies, be honest about your financial situation, ask for a reduced payoff amount or a payment plan, and get everything in writing before you pay a cent. Yes, you can ask them to reduce your debt because of your situation. That's because they would rather get some amount paid back rather than nothing. The last part is crucial. Don't pay based on a phone call promise. Ask for it in writing. It protects you if the agency doesn't follow through. Just a heads up though, in order to do a pay for delete, you'll likely have to do one lump sum payment instead of a payment plan. Most accounts that end up in collections did so because the borrower couldn't make payments on time, and the collection agency isn't looking to try and keep tabs on you. A quick side note about negotiating is that you should never pay a company upfront to negotiate debt on your behalf. There are lots of scams out there, and there isn't some special tactic that they can use to give you a better chance clearing your record. By day 3, we've done your financial audit, picked our repayment plan, negotiated with debt collectors, and now we wait for our credit score to rise. When your credit score is low, you're probably checking every day for it to update. Trust me, I've been there. But I want to clear the air on a timeline for how long negotiations take and when you'll get your credit score boost. As far as negotiating with the debt collectors, the phone call can be done in just a few minutes, but it could take up to a couple of weeks for them to agree on your repayment schedule. This is mostly because you're sending letters back and forth in the mail, and it takes a little bit of time for them to update your account in their system. Then once you've settled your account, it could take 30 to 60 days for you to see the boost on your report. Removing collection marks from your credit report is only the first step in your financial recovery. Your credit score is made up of so many different factors, and this video will teach you what they are and how to maximize your credit score. So go check it out. But even though this might offer a quick fix for your credit score, having strong personal finances comes from building solid and repeatable financial habits. So once you get rid of your debt, it's important to focus on keeping it at zero. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.